Nsem-Pii TV near.
And you may breaking news from Jubilee House. Now breaking news we I Syria kakra na asefum isan se yase sebi muhuyanka de sebi enkwasiafo ena eka. Had I known it's a language for the fools, but Bina Ghana atuye President John Dramani Mahama enim guasie akano amasese de no ankasa abuna ketem afre yemame Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono asanso atwrokrata tententen e de akona soye e panichew e sanso e tweniema bia ofiti prekope eyeye esan na we nyina koba wabra enra yehu se Chief Justice actual letter e dey stormy Jubilee House say kwan a o mafa so ese ni din ebu ni din e wo bedwam no enye kwan pa so petitions a mo se ma receive I fa no ho nkofo accuse no mo nka ho asem mo nkire no mo dey abetu bedwam say mo nya petitions bi ti mo ba ye nhwehwemu dey afa no mo amma no kwan amma ono ankasa amfa na no di sempo amma metudwa na mo le beto abontin e my na report to ma mo say Council of State member ba ko a wagidi ye pa alliance nkudu to abla kom do mani tu say Council of State entimi hia John Dramani Mahama ni NDC ehunu say de plan o mo fa ye no amfa eniguase aba Ghana fo nyina ni da ho ehwe de ekoso nyina no afa de o mo asane akomachi ama kwan papa nke wo se nko mo fa so no afa de o mo fa sa kwan no so o mo asanso Chief Justice Achewpa na yebe kenkan krata na odi akwakodan Chief Justice ene request for Chief Justice request here esan say John Dramani Mahama wa ferie NDC for ferie ntino wa ma request na mana broso yebe kaye no a Chief Justice report no catch John Dramani Mahama the president say on man 7 days say the emrane sie no na onfa enkruchi na no de semu krata so abra obo de petition na bre no ama on so in defense haba and John Dramani Mahama say wa man 10 days na fe do dia man 7 days wa man di aka ho esan say ono a fere wa hu say do ye no wa nya ni ye na this is the letter President shamefully san ye be kan no odi akoma Chief Justice esan say wasan ka odi kan this letter we ko ansa na wa ma Felix Kwachi Ofosu e de sakrata na babontin. The Presidency writes to Chief Justice, His Excellency has received 3 petitions from 3 individuals requesting your removal as Chief Justice. 2 of the petitions are dated 14 February 2024, Valentine's Day, and before you show a letter, and the course Chief Justice for Lipanino. But also it is dated 17th March. Busumia Ewomia, now what you tell me, and as I let you know, I say copies of these 3 petitions are attached. Let us say, Afeina John Dramani Mahama, and I'm the secretary, so Dr. Callistus Mahama, and Felix Kwachi Ofosu, the spokesperson. Petition and for Chief Justice of one country. Chief Justice Bekasaye, Council of State, some Okuja Tobo Manbetum said, Your Moyan, a bonnet, a tiamra, there is no legal sense in it. Afei and omede petition, no, attach letter at the office of the Honorable Chief Justice Gertrude Saki Tokono. Lieutenant also said, following receipt of these petitions on 24th March 2024, His Excellency wrote to the Chairman of the Council of State forwarding the petitions and informing Council that in accordance with the consultation processes required under Article 1466, he intends as an initial step to send the petitions to you for your preliminary comments or response. Laughable. It's say when and now I'm against your wasenka udi kan e communicate Chief Justice and sana oma Felix Kwachi Ofosu de putupru e de letter sini letter fian let half letter about bontain a generate a whole discourse regarding the integrity and the reputation of the Chief Justice of the Republic. Let time us out to also say on 27th March 2025 His Excellency received responses from the Chairman of the Council of State consenting to this request. Copies of these letters are also attached. His Excellency, however, notes with disappointment that your letter of 27th March 2025 addressed to him was circulating on social media even before he could review its content. The letter was reportedly shared as an attachment to another letter you wrote to the President of the Supreme Court, the President of the Association of Magistrates and Judges, and the President of the Ghana Bar Association. John Dramani Mahama afedie enimguasia kana wie no onu mom pese wotene ne nsa e Chief Justice say Chief Justice letter or throw the bar no wo hu se letter no circulate to social media man Nsem-Pii TV report ama wiase afọ na nyina obi ate. Forgetting say confidentiality na on kawahwehwede free Chief Justice ono ono as president ni office ni secretary Dr. Prez Mahama the spokesperson Felix Kwachofusu, they didn't treat the 3 petitions with any confidentiality at all. Umpo on the letter no babe to abontino no munim say no the social media be capture am. Why didn't they inform the Chief Justice in secret and what the letter no be to abontin? Na say the letter na be to abontin good Chief Justice who fi ama the nim any the woman na ye ka the fa no ho. The enti na ni kwan say ono so no krata what the amam the ne the ba abontin. That is a multi-million-dollar question. In the comment section. And let her know call you here say His Excellency wishes to assure you that due process will be followed in handling this matter and that you will be given a full and fair opportunity to be heard. And he way any letter is John Dramani Mahama actually to save his face after a very disastrous attempt to mar the office, the integrity and the name of the Chief Justice Gertrude Sakitokono. Now, Professor Ajiman Dua Bafwo, our governance expert, Edna not to Nsem-Pii say John Dramani Mahama wanyade. Nanka wasenko yes haniyama we nyina ansa na ne krata na edi kan ababonten. Na de waye o de good Chief Justice ho fi. Ekoba say 3 petitions ye ni nyina so obiya na nyansa bi animu a. Die no be ka kire ready Chief Justice. Yentie say de nkomo no egusu a ebobode.
But I think what is significant, though, is that the president has quickly rectified what was a major concern to most governance people. That is to say, if the accused, in this case the Chief Justice, will be given a fair hearing. Because as we know in law, whoever is accused of something should have the right to respond.
Right.
So before even establishing the prima facie, it's important that the accused is heard. So in this case, I think the president has really done well by issuing the latest letter and submitting the copies of the petitions to the Chief Justice. And that satisfied a lot of people in this matter.
The Chief Justice yesterday wrote to the president demanding that at least he's given a copy of the petition against her. As far as the Constitution is concerned, was she right to request that, or the steps taken by the president were what it ought to be?
You know, according to the constitutional lawyers, the president is not obliged to provide anything. But you see, I think common sense will tell you that if you are accused of something, you should know your charges. You should know the reasons why you are accused. Again, we have some history here. This is not the first time a petition has been submitted to the president to get rid of somebody who is in a constitutionally created position. You recall that even before the elections, there was a petition against the Chief Justice, and the then President, Akufo-Addo, decided to respond to the petitioner that he sees no merit in the petition for him to proceed with the process of submitting to the Council of State. That was the discretion he chose because the Constitution does not specifically require a president to do that. But in this case, I think President Mahama has responded quite, decently in responding to the question of fairness. So I think it's a great step forward. And it is this discretionary power for a president, that is the lacuna in this whole process. And whether the attempt to revise the Constitution will address this or not, I do not know. But certainly, I think this case is raising all kinds of very interesting and important questions about our governance structure and whether presidents will continue to appoint justices of the Supreme Court if in fact the court is supposed to be independent. So all these things are being thrown at us, and it's a challenge for us to find the kinds of responses that will help us to create a system that is clear to all and maybe removing the discretionary powers given to the president to some minimum so that there will be no confusion about how to act when you are faced with this kind of situation.
The secrecy that the Constitution attached to this particular provision, and then you go into the President's letter to the Chief Justice, he makes the point that he is disappointed that the Chief Justice letter of 27th March 2025 addressed to him was circulating on social media even before he could review its content. The letter was reportedly shared as an attachment to another letter you wrote to the President of the Supreme Court, the President of the Bar Association, magistrates, and therefore we are constrained to mark each page of the attachment to this letter restricted. So clearly, in terms of secrecy, the President was not happy that the Chief Justice letter got leaked in the media. It's unclear how that happened. And he says that because of this, I'm constrained to restrict this particular correspondence to you as well.
Yes, the President is right. Very right. But you know what? The Chief Justice did not start this whole publicity about it. When the President submitted his request to the Council of State, at which point a prima facie case has not been established, I think the process should have been confidential until it's established that in fact there are legitimate reasons for the Chief Justice to respond. But before that could happen, it was all over the media. So in that respect, even though I really appreciate the President raising the issue of confidentiality of this process, I wish he had come earlier before we got to this point. So now, look, he's rectifying, and it is true, I agree with him, that this should have been confidential until the point where we think the Chief Justice has questions to answer. So this should be a guide for future cases such as this. Look, what we are dealing with here, we are not dealing with Bafo Ajimandua, who is a non-entity in the society.
Right.
We are dealing with the institutional head that is ranked at least roughly third in our governance structure. After the executive, the legislature is the Chief Justice. So anything concerning this, until facts, evidence and facts are established, you do not go public to embarrass anybody. Look, right now we are talking about two things. We have risked certain security concerning this whole process. We have exposed the Chief Justice to certain things. Reputational risk has been involved here. So the President is that this whole process should have been kept under wraps until it's clear that the Chief Justice has some serious questions to answer before perhaps becoming public. But of course, if you leak someone, that's a different story. So I do like the President's decision to include in his letter the necessity for keeping these things confidential until such a time that is important for the public to know. Because as I say, there are some risks here. Suppose at the end of the process, the Chief Justice is exonerated by the process. Suppose it comes to that. What happens? Meanwhile, her reputation will have been scarred, and then also her credibility as the Chief Justice will have been damaged. And that is not good for us as a nation. So
not at all. The President did not err. That is what the Constitution says. That when he receives a petition, he should submit it to the Council of State with respect to allegations against the Chief Justice or calling for the Chief Justice's removal from office. So that is what he did. But then the Chief Justice says she wants to know what is in that petition and should be given an opportunity to offer a response before a decision is made, whether a prima facie case has been made for the case to proceed to the next level. You know, it's a two-tier level.
Right.
That is establishing the prima facie case, and then if that is established, then the committee should be set up to investigate the matter.
So now that she has the opportunity to respond within 10 days, after the response, what will happen now? The President is going to forward a response to the Council of State. for the council of state to say that there's no case for her to answer, or there should be further probe into this matter? Is that what will happen?
Yes, so at this stage, what is going to happen is that after the 10 days, or within the 10 days, when the Chief Justice submits a response, then it will be gone into to determine if the prima facie case has been established. And then if it is, go to the courts. It is true, and then they would recommend the dismissal of the case or the dismissal of the Chief Justice.
If we should get to that stage, what will happen to the office? Is Madam Tokono still going to hold on to the office as Chief Justice, or she may have to step aside to allow for this investigation to go on, so as long as it will take?
Probably she may have to step aside. That is my what I'm reading into this. And if she's not there, the next and highest in rank will step in. So probably that's what is going to happen. I think it might be good for that step to be taken so that she can focus on the case, and it will also not disturb any judicial, any administrative processes within the judiciary that she may have to perform at that time.
Well, finally, on this matter, you know, some individuals, some private individuals, including a member of parliament, they've gone to court seeking certain reliefs. Now that there's some clarity on this matter, you expect the cases to be withdrawn?
That's what I'm hoping, because it is now moot. Because what they are seeking for is what President Mahama has taken the reins of their sail to say that, listen, you needed this, have it, and then after 10 days, let's see how things will go.
All right. Prof, just hold on a little for me. Let me allow Professor Bafo-Adjumediah to give me his final thoughts on this matter. And I'll come back to you on another equally important matter also happening today. Prof, your final words on this matter as we await the next step on this case.
Well, I'm hoping that now that the process is underway, and I think all sides are getting clarity on the process, I hope it will proceed and that the right thing will be done. Of course, if there's a basis for dismissing the Chief Justice, so be it. I mean, we want to have a rule of law in the country. On the other hand, if not, but let me point out something here.
Right.
This whole issue of petitioning for dismissal of people in very high positions in our country, I'm hoping that the current committee reviewing the Constitution will take a look at it. You see, the Constitution allows every individual Ghanaian to file a petition. And oftentimes, like it happened in the case of the first electoral commissioner who was disposed, Charlotte Osei,
right.
Nobody knew the contents. Nobody knows the identity of that individual. And to make it so easy for an individual to torpedo somebody in high position, I think we need to question that. In some other jurisdictions, if you want to get somebody impeached or dismissed, people in such high positions, if you did the petition, you'll be required to have at least 100,000 signatures to bring some gravity to the issue. You see, so I think this is one of the serious, to my view, serious gaps in the way we are managing these kinds of matters. So I think we should revisit how, first of all, trying to secure the independence of the judiciary by maybe delimiting the extent to which the president appoints and all. And secondly, getting rid of people in such positions just by a mere single petition by an individual. I think that's completely wrong. We need to change that.
All right. Prof, thank you so much for your time on this matter. Let me go back to Professor Kojo-Appiah-Gyekye. So, Prof, just one quick matter on this, on the CJ matter, and then I'll let you hold on for me while I bring in the other subjects. Now, we know that this same Chief Justice, the President Akufo-Addo, was petitioned to facilitate her removal. After going through the process, the response was that the petition did not merit such an action. Is it possible that the same petition is what has been presented to President Mahama for some action, and can the same person go through the same exercise twice as far as the content of the petition is concerned?
The same person can go through a process as many times as possible, but it wouldn't be the same petition. I mean, in terms of the content, if a new one is submitted, it has to be additional information found, additional evidence found that the person thinks that at this stage I found what is the jugular that can really make a difference in the decision of the president. Yes. So, but nobody knows if it's the same person doing resubmitting the same petition that was sent to the president, even though I'm not sure that is the case.
I asked because, you know, in normal legal practice in the court, one person cannot be tried twice on the same crime. That's why I asked whether is it possible or this could be a different petition. And if it is the same, I mean, the same process must still be triggered.
Sorry. So there's the same. I mean, if the president is not sitting as a judge, so the judicial process of appealing or asking for review and so on does not work. So in that sense, what you can say is that you have a new president. The person can submit a new petition and maybe learn from the problem mistakes which led to the earlier petition being ignored, and beef things up and resubmit. Yes. Although people who may, if there are new people altogether here, the people may refer to, they have access to that petition, can look at that and say, okay, we found other something to add to what was submitted earlier, and do that.
All right. Let's leave it here for now because this is developing. I'm sure in the days to follow we'll have more to talk about on this matter. But Prof, stay with me because today an Accra High Court revised the bail condition for the former Director General of the Signal Bureau, Kwabena Adubuahene, setting it at 80 million Ghana cedi with two sureties. The bail conditions for his wife, the second accused in this matter, remain unchanged at also 80 million Ghana cedis with two sureties. The court also directed the couple to report 3 times a week for the next 3 weeks and stated that they may only travel with express permission from the Economic and Organized Crime Office. Now, speaking briefly to reporters at the court complex, Kwabena Adubuahene maintained his innocence in the system. He has not been charged with any wrongdoing.
Any initial comment? So, boy, any initial comment? What do you say about all the charges and the publicity?
Oh, I have not been charged of anything yet. None whatsoever.
So what do you say? You believe you come out from this as an innocent man?
Definitely, yes.
Okay.
Right, so that was an exclusive with my colleague Latif Idris, who was in court today. Prof, I'm going to come back to you shortly to ask you if it is normal. This man has been in custody for over a week and he's yet to be charged. If this is normal, and what you make of the revised bail bond that is expected to meet before he can have his temporary freedom. Latif, what happened in court today?
Yeah, so
you can walk us through the argument for and against, the application to amend
for bail.
The bail.
That was so. When the case was first called by the court, the Deputy Attorney General, Justice Nsem-Pii, wasn't present, so he had to be stood down, and then it was recalled. When it was recalled, so he was stood down first because we were told in court that the Deputy Attorney General was.
Be the first to know Nsem-Pii